Hey guys, this is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is sales. All right, little fist bump to say howdy. We got a cool subject for ourselves today, so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. The question or the statement is selling, don't be afraid to fail. What do you think? I said selling, don't be afraid to fail. Hey, listen, I've been in sales in one form of capacity since the 80s. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and the warts and all. And I'm just one of them kind of people that are concerned about folks. And I just thought I'd share my strength and my hope and some information that I've learned over the years that can really help you in your selling career. And one of the key things that I've learned in my long career in selling is that you should not be afraid to fail. You might be going, dang, I don't want to fail. Well, listen, there's been a lot of things that have been made that people who are very successful had to deal with, and it's called failure. Some people who've made a tremendous amount of money or who are really good at whatever they do have had to fail many, many times, sometimes thousands of times. But see, they persevered. I've persevered. I've failed quite a few times in my selling career, but one of the key things that I've learned is I'm still here. And being a salesperson means that you're going to have failures. It's what we do with our failures. We should embrace our failures, not to continue doing the same thing, because they say that if you continuously doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's kind of like ludicrous. It's kind of crazy. Why would you want to do things that are going to cause you to have failure? But here's the thing. Failure does not mean that you're a failure. Failure means that you've made some situations or some things that you've tried and they just didn't work out. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy, and I told you I'd tell you things that most salespeople or people in general who are in sales won't talk about. But see, selling, don't be afraid of failure, and the reason why you shouldn't be afraid of failure, it means you're one step closer to being successful. And I'm telling you, I've worked with some really great companies that had been in business for 100 years, 75, 50, and some that went out of business after just a short amount of time. And the reason why is because they failed to see the big picture. See, things in life is ebb and flow. Good days, bad days, and days you just wish you could start all over again. And failure in life, it could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but it doesn't make you who you are. Failure can make you who you are if you look at it as a negative thing. I failed in sales, and when I first got in sales, I was doing really good. I've had some good days, some great products that I've sold, and there's been some failures amongst them that I couldn't do. I couldn't sell. There were some products I didn't have enough time to be able to sell because I was working on straight commission, and being a single parent, it was like I had to have money coming in, and I felt like a failure, not because I couldn't sell the product, because I was selling the product. I just didn't have enough time to keep going without, running out of money. And see, that doesn't mean you're a failure. What that means is the situation happened and maybe a failure to execute. Now, like I said, I love selling. I love the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the warts and all the crazy things that come along with selling. And selling, don't be afraid of failure. One of the things that I've learned as far as a salesperson is concerned, it's a numbers game. The more people you share with, the more people you talk to and show your products, you'll have a better opportunity to sell. And see, failure in some capacities may make you better. It's like if we had good days and every day was a great day, and then we had a bad day, we wouldn't be able to deal with it properly. And I know from my own personal experience, I don't like that feeling of failure. I don't like that feeling of not being successful. But see, I've had to deal with it, and that's called life. Now, you do have some people, they everything seems to be going good all the time. But do they have failures in their relationships? Do they have failure with their children? Do they have failure? Everybody, I don't care who that you talk to, billionaires, millionaires, and I've talked to a lot of people who've made a lot of money, and they all have some type of failures in their lives. And some of the failures made them better. It's like, failures with maybe their marital situation, maybe with their children, maybe they just had failures, with alcohol and drugs. It's just amazing that failure can make a person or break a person. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Selling is a gift. It really, really is. Because, see, God's given you an opportunity to talk to people and make money by just giving information. A lot of people have to work very hard. They have to use their brains really a lot. And we're very fortunate because in sales, once you learn the process and you learn how to have a selling conversation, you overcome your failures. And what happens is you get better and better and better at your presentations, and those failures seem to just go away. Now, every day you're going to have little small failures where people say no to your product. They're not saying no to you. It could be budgeting reasons. It could be they just haven't had enough information given to them for them to say, oh, that makes sense. I think I can go with that. It could be a mirror of different things, but that doesn't mean you're a failure. Because some days you're going to sell a whole lot. Some days you're going to wish that, dang, I can't even close the door. And I've been there and done that. But see, that doesn't mean I'm a failure. What that means is, hey, I've done my job. I've done my due diligence to get the next sale. But see, here's the thing. If you quit, that next person that you talk to could be the next person who makes your career. That next person could be the person that you sell your next product to, even through a dry time. And then you get back on track. I mean, I've been in sales for a long time. I've had weeks where, man, I couldn't even sell nothing. I was like, golly, am I in the right business? I felt like a real failure. But see, here's the thing. I kept doing the do. I kept knocking on the door. I kept picking up the phone. I kept talking to people. And see, what happens is it's a cycle. It's amazing. It really works. But when you're going through it, when you're not doing real good, you feel like a failure. It's like it really hurts inside. But see, here's the thing. You've got to tell yourself it's a numbers game. I'm going to be better. I'm going to talk to as many people as I can, and I'm going to keep on selling. Failures. Like I said, I've had a lot of different great opportunities with different companies, and they went out of business or just things didn't work out. And I stuck and stayed in sales. I stuck and stayed in it because, see, I knew it was my niche. I knew it was something that God had given me the gift to be able to have conversations and talk with people. And I get excited about it. Some people, they have to go to their 9-to-5 job and they're bored to death. I see people, they ain't smiling. I see a lot of people don't even smile. I go to the gym and stuff. Nobody smiles. I go to church and people don't smile because life can be humdrum. And sometimes our failures can make us feel weak, feel less than, feel incompetent. And don't feel that way because it's a life process. It's how we deal with those things that knock us off our horse. It's those things how we interpret failures. Because see, a lot of times when I first had some failures, man, I took it internally. I thought it was my fault. And sometimes it could have been some of my fault, but a lot of the times it was just life. Diamonds are made under great pressure. It's just like salespeople. We're made great under great pressure because if everything is given to you and you have to finally deal with a bunch of objections that you don't know how to deal with, or you don't know how to deal with people who are maybe not the same personality that you think you are. Because I'll tell you what, there are different types of personalities. So you have to change and ebb and flow. You have to work with these different types of people. And it's not failure if you try. You got to keep trying. Selling is a wonderful career. I love it. I mean, it's helped me through a lot of different things. I've paid off my home. I have some really great things. I'm still going to school. And see, I've had some jobs that I've done some selling in that I took and got certifications. And some people would say, well, they didn't work out for you. Is that a failure? Maybe. But see, here's the thing. If you don't try, you're going to be a failure for not trying. So when I feel as though I need to get more education, more training, or if I'm looking at selling more than just what I'm selling, what I'm doing is I'm getting outside of my box. I'm trying to be successful. I'm working towards that end. I'm always studying. See, failures are people who don't try. Failures are people who give up. Failures are people who just think that, hey, man, woe with me, and they just give up. See, the real true salesperson or a person who's wanting to be successful in life has to have failures. I mean, look at the light bulb. The dude did a lot of tries. I mean, over 1,000, if not more. Look at the automobile. It had to go through a lot of trials and errors. Look at, the computers and all these different things that we have in our lives. They had to have failures before success could actually come to fruition. And I'm telling you guys, don't beat yourself up when you're having failures. You know, if one sales job doesn't work out for you, that doesn't mean you're not meant to be a salesperson. What that means is you have to find your niche. You have to find the product that you can feel comfortable with. Some people are really good at selling products that they can touch and feel and show features and benefits, like, you know, furniture, for instance. Then you got those idea kind of selling, you know, where people are selling life insurance, they're selling, you know, any type of product where you've got to make people think about it and see it in their own mind. But you have to find that which you enjoy and able to sell, you know. And here's the thing, selling, don't be afraid to fail, because see, if you're afraid to fail, then you won't try. You know, like I said, I've failed many times in my life, but I look at those failures as stepping stones to become better and better and better. And if something doesn't work, change gears, go in a different direction. Sometimes just a little bit of change can change the whole idea that you came up with. And see, a lot of people who sell products, or people who have made things that are very important to us, did minor changes to other people's products for them to sell something and to become better. And like I said, failures does not mean that you're not important, that you don't matter. Failures, like I say, can make you or they can break you. It's how we embrace our failures. Give it a big old hug. You know, I wear smiley face buttons all the time to remind me that, hey, I need to smile more. And when I'm going through, you know, I'm one of these kind of people that prays a lot. Because, see, I go to church, and, you know, that's up to you if you want to believe that or not. I do. It just helps me, because sometimes failures can make us feel as though we're not important and that we don't matter and that we should just give up. And I'm going to tell you what, I've had those thoughts. I've had those feelings of just giving up. I've had these things like, man, why can't it work out? Why doesn't it work out for me? Why is this product not working out for me? How come I'm not being successful at this? Because, see, what has happened is I've let failure creep into my mind to tell me that I can't succeed. That's a lie. You can succeed. I'm going to tell you, you can give me permission. I'm going to give you permission to say failure is not your end. It's just your beginning. Failure doesn't mean you got to quit, man. Failure just means that, hey, I got to do a little something a little bit different. I got to have an attitude of gratitude. Like I said, you know, I've had some jobs where, you know, the companies went out of business. I'm like, dang, what happened? They had a failure. But see, I didn't fail because I was really good at what I do, and you are too. So if a job doesn't work out for you, it doesn't mean you give up on life. It doesn't mean you go get in that bottle or smoke a bunch of whatever. What it means is, hey, I got to reevaluate what's going on so that way I can get back on track. And sometimes failures can be really, really good things. They can take you in a different direction. And, you know, I look at my whole life in my selling career. I've done all these different type of sales jobs and so forth to get me to where I'm at today. And I'm like thinking, man, if I would have written this book, I would have never written it this way. But you know what? I had to go through all those struggles. I had to deal with all these different types of people and personalities, managers, and different things for me to see that selling is awesome. Life is awesome. Failure doesn't mean that you quit. Really, it doesn't. You know, my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. I told you I'd tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and the warts and all. And our subject for today is selling. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure. I love that. It just means that, hey, listen, I get to try something new. I get to try something different. And see, the key to success is that you're going to have those failures. But it's what we do with our failures. Do we give up? No. We stick and press on. And listen, sometimes failures make you feel real bad. But remember, they're a stepping stone. They're a learning guide. You can't get better unless you've had issues in your life. You can't get better if you don't have pressure in your life. So remember, failures in life and selling, don't be afraid of failure. And the reason why I say that is because it's going to happen. And when it does, just recognize it as an opportunity to succeed, because it's just a numbers game. We can do what we need to do. Give it to God. And share this, guys, because you're important. Give me a little thumbs up. And remember, selling and dealing with failure is life. So live it and enjoy it. And when failures come, just learn from it and move on. So go out there and sell something. But if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. Selling, and don't be afraid to fail. Because if you don't try, you can't succeed. And if you fail, try again. All right.